Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and this is Does It Suck? The show where we take a deep dive look at a new game and see what's good or bad about it. Now, today we're going to be talking about Gears of War Reloaded, which is a remastering of the previous remake, which was called Gears of War Ultimate Edition. It's basically a 4K 60 FPS version of the original Gears of War, but now with all the DLC, all the maps, all the character skins, and on PlayStation. So I decided to buy it on my PlayStation 5. All this gameplay you're seeing here is from PlayStation 5. And I want to talk about how fun it is, how different it feels, and kind of my concerns. Because as good as this game is, I think it's actually going to be extremely fun when we get the full game here. This is just the beta. My concern is about the longevity. Because I do think that as cool as this game is, it's going to die fast. But let me explain. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, let me be clear, my complaints and criticisms come from a super fan. Gears of War is by far my favorite Xbox franchise of all time. I've got thousands and thousands of hours of it. I've been playing it since literally it first came out. This is a true story. The first TV I ever bought, the first HD TV I ever purchased, was purely to play Gears of War. Look at this cringy ass photo of it. But this game is very different if you've only played the later Gears of War games. Like Gears 3, 4, and 5, they started to slow stuff down. If you play this is a remake of Gears of War 1, which is the fastest in the entire saga. The combats, the kills, the carnage, it is just super, super, super quick. This is a twitch shooter that just happens to have a cover-based system and wall bouncing. But what makes this fun is that there is a meticulous maliciousness about this. And what I mean is that this game is very, very technical, but at surface range, when you first start playing Gears of War, it does kind of feel like a nasty mess. A lot of people are just ricocheting around and no scope, headshotting everybody with shotguns. But the more you kind of get used to the rhythm, to the vibe, there's actually sort of a language to Gears of War, and especially with Gears 1. So with Reloaded, this is not just the entire campaign we're going to be getting. This beta is multiplayer only. It only had 2 of the maps, but it does have all the weapons. It does have all the characters. I'm kind of curious about how people really adapt to this speed of it, especially if they've only played, well, crappier shooters in the past. But what makes this game so incredibly fun, and what really kind of struck me, is that this runs at 4K 120 FPS. Now, playing this on my Pro, it looks utterly insane. But I do have to say that I'm having a little bit of trouble adapting to the PlayStation controller, in that I predominantly play on my PlayStation, but it definitely, my brain is now so used to the last 19 years using an Xbox controller for a lot of the weapon swapping, for the 2-piece, which is what it's called when you like elbow somebody and shotgun them simultaneously. There's a lot of stuff where I'm used to the stagger sticks, and also I'm very used to the clicky Xbox buttons. This requires a lot of shoulder use, not just for aiming and shooting, but this is how you search for your teammates that need to get picked up. Holding this is how you actually rev up your chainsaw. There's a lot of stuff that you kind of have to get used to this spacing of it. I will adapt, but I did notice a couple times where I straight up died a coward's death because I wasn't quite feeling that natural connection I have already with the Xbox controller. But how does it actually play? Honestly, fantastic. That boosted frame rate, that boosted resolution, I already thought the original Gears of War was so good looking, but it definitely looks even better here. Holy heck, just seeing some of those shadows, some of that blood spray getting hit, watching somebody get chainsawed and bone matter shooting all over the place, it looks better than it ever has. But one of the concerns I've seen immediately, even after my first couple hours of playing, is that I have been talking to people in lobbies and stuff. A lot of people are concerned that this is going to be a bloodbath on day one, and that the online scene is going to die incredibly quick. Now, I say this because I have played every single Gears of War game at launch and for years afterward. And each of them have had a shorter and shorter online life, meaning that typically the servers would be super, super crammed for years. For Gears of War 1, 2, and 3, there was always people online in every single playlist doing shotguns and sniper matches and explosive matches. But here, you can definitely see that as each of the Gears of War games have gotten less popular, the player bases have shrunk. So with this, it's cool that by default, Reloaded does have cross-play and cross-progression. So you can play it on your PS5 and then boot it up on your Xbox or on your PC or whatever, right? That's neat. But the problem is the fact that cross-play can be turned off. Now, I'm not saying this is a problem for me, but I'm already seeing a lot of posts. I'm talking to people in lobbies. A lot of people are concerned that turning off crossplay is very likely going to kill this game faster. But I know a lot of people are probably not going to want to play against PC lobbies. So there's actually three choices. There's I want to play only with PlayStation 5 people. There's I want to play with only console people, so cross-play but no PC allowed, and I want to allow everybody. Let's just have a free-for-all. And I almost think that my concern right now is that even in these early lobbies, there are monsters online. There are people that have only been playing Gears of War day in and day out now for 19 years. They're in these lobbies already just massacring entire teams by themselves. I've seen a guy with a pistol kill 6 people in a row, like pretty much instantly. This game has an extremely high skill ceiling. It may look like just your typical cover-based shooter, but the more you kind of adapt to clinging to walls, bouncing off surfaces, trying to do a big lap around the map to pick up power weapons so you can get the boom shot and make sure that they hear boom, but they don't hear the shot. There is a lot of fun to this game, but my concern is that there are already so many super pros out there that I'm slightly concerned that when this comes out, there are going to be people that get online and just get utterly butchered for 100 games in a row, and they just quit. And then they go, okay, let me turn off crossplay. Each of the Gears of War games has died a shorter and shorter death. In fact, last night, just for fun, I tried to practice. I tried to boot up Gears of War 1 on my Xbox, and it just doesn't work. It just, you can play deathmatch, but it's always people that are just instant headshotting you before you can even respawn practically, and any other mode is just dead. I have a little bit of concerns that this game, I'm going to buy it at launch, I'm going to play it at launch, I want to review it at launch, but I am a bit concerned from a fan standpoint that this game is going to die just as fast as a lot of other Gears games did. It's probably a lot faster, and personally, that does kind of suck. But really, I'm curious about the full package. Playing Gears of War on a PlayStation still feels illegal somehow. You know, it's just in the fact that Gears of War has always been one of the very best Xbox franchises. So bringing it over to PlayStation 5 and putting it out here, the fact that it's the entire campaign, all the DLC, all the craziness, the incredibly good story of this, I want to platinum this. It's cool to go back, but I do have concerns. I kind of almost wish they had released an entire trilogy of these games. There were some leaks that there was something called the Marcus Phoenix Collection, that they wanted to do a full remaster of Gears of War 1, 2, and 3, all packaged together, sort of like the Master Chief Collection. I almost kind of wish they had done that. I'm excited about this. I mean, I've already paid for it. I paid the $40 for it, but I do kind of wish that the final product was a bit bigger. I mean, I guess we'll find out how awesome it ends up being when it actually comes out, but my concerns is that the game's going to die before it has a chance to really grow an audience on PlayStation. But that's just my things. How do you feel about Gears of War Reloaded? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Oh man, I decided to look up a lot of my achievements. I beat this game on Insanity. Gears 1, I beat it on the hardest difficulty 18 years ago. Oh man, it has been a long time. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.